Welcome everybody. Welcome to Sketch Fighters. Hope everybody's doing well. My name's Bernard Chang. I'm here tonight with the usual cast. Jerry Ma, professional comic book artist / designer.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Sean Chen, another professional comic book artist /
professional
/ crypto miner.
Yep.
We have Courtney, but she's getting dinner right now.
No, she's here.
Oh, she's
I'm here,
here?
but I am getting dinner.
The Chanel West Coast of our show.
I don't know about that.
I think is Fletch might come on later. I don't know.
He's on. I think.
He is?
Hi. Hey, everybody.
Fletch, are you back home?
Full house.
Full house today. Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's my Fletch impersonation.
Fletch literally can only get in like 2 out of every 3 or 4 words.
You know, it makes seeing him in person all the better.
Oh, he does that in person too?
Yeah, that's how he talks.
That's when I saw him at the con the other day, and he's like, he saw me from afar, and he's like, oh, Courtney. I was like, oh, I know that.
So how was that? Ooh. We used to always like make fun of people that would come up to you at conventions, because the first, huh?
No, we don't do that.
No, because for some other reason, Sean, not the wink wink version. No, because the first thing that people say to you at a convention is, "Hey, how's the show?" Right?
Oh, like, how's the show going for you?
How's the show going for you? I think that's like the most common phrase heard at a comic book event. Hey, how's the show going for you? So, I don't know. Have we ever figured out how to answer that, or?
I just tell them the truth. Like, man, I had to get here super early to set up. It was terrible. I had to wait online. Couldn't get my breakfast. Couldn't take a dump. Gotta hold it in till 8 p.m. now.
Yeah,
Jerry usually has alcohol to make it better. He's like, here, let's just drink.
That's the other thing, is usually at a convention, you have to scout for like a clean bathroom. Right. That's part of the initial intelligence report. Is that
you send your people out, right? You send like your scouts out.
Right.
And they come back with a map.
Because you have to find one that's like clean and not very busy. So
That's hard.
And it's usually like tucked away in a corner somewhere.
Those are usually by panel room.
By the panel? No, it's true. He's true. It's right. The for Artist Alley in San Diego, if you go upstairs and in the far back corner, there's a bathroom there that's relatively unused, that faces the bay. Oh shit! I just gave it away to everybody. It's a little bit of a schlep. You have to walk like a little bit, but it's clean and it's unoccupied most of the time, so you can basically just pull your pants down and sit there for a few minutes to decompress.
You don't have to worry about making too much noise.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like sometimes you never know. Like you're peeing next to someone that's like, oh, that's Sean Chan's penis. Wow, I need to get a sketch from this guy.
That's how you recognize Sean.
I mean, there's shows that don't have that divider in the urinals, so then you gotta be like right next to each other, and
like the sports arena trough.
Exactly. At least, yeah, there hasn't been any with the trough, but it's like, sometimes comic book artists, it's not a surprise, but sometimes comic book artists don't get treated as well as like television celebrities or movie celebrities at these shows. Like they get their own private
green room.
Yeah, they get a private green room with a bathroom. We gotta, we're there walking in, and plus like sometimes like people have really bad aim. I've noticed. I just don't understand. Anyways,
I do it on purpose.
Yeah, it's not your house, you know. So
Courtney, do you have that cone that
It's not your house.
yeah, come on, eh? So I just
Sean,
go
you were
there.
never
I have
allowed to
aim.
come to my place.
I just start peeing all over the place. It's not my house.
right? I mean, is that the mentality that hey, it's not my house? What do I care?
Well, I think it's surprising with women that they have that. I heard that the women's bathroom in the office sometimes is a horror show.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I've gone into the women's room when I used to work, with the clothing stuff. And I just had to see what it was like. So I've gone there to take a piss like in the middle of the day and just come right out. All the women were slightly offended that I did that like 4 times.
Why?
I had to see
So
what it was like.
how was it? What was it like? Is it like
Fucking shit show in there. It's
really?
crazy.
Because there's an extra body fluid that we don't have.
Oh,
And guys, I didn't realize like I guess we're easier in the bathroom.
Look, I think there's only one person that actually would do that, and it's that one person that makes it bad for like everybody else. Because I mean, I've worked in offices with only women, and
They try to flush tampons down the toilet and everything.
really?
I mean, normally
Yeah.
you wouldn't. That can't. They aren't really flushable, so they know that. So it's
But, like,
Yeah, but it's not
there's-
your house. So.
It's many times I've I've worked
how many
with,
what do you mean many times? How many bathrooms? women's bathrooms
well,
do
I've
you-
had a lot of jobs where it was the majority were women, and
Okay.
Fashion.
it would like regularly the women's room would be regularly backed up because some yuts just had to try to flush their freaking tampon down the toilet.
Well, I haven't even witnessed that many times.
Was Courtney and Fletch on when we gave our most embarrassing
Pee stories?
shat stories?
Oh, chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. That's when I told you mine, where I almost shat myself in Thailand,
Oh,
but I didn't. But I was
I
really.
think I would have remembered that.
yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
What?
I think I would have
Yeah.
remembered that.
I was in the airport and I was leaving Thailand, and I was there for like a month with my girlfriend, and everything that was not supposed to be spicy was spicy.
Spicy food.
Spicy food, and it just caught up with me, so it was just definitely time to go. I didn't want to leave because I was having fun, but my stomach couldn't take it, and I was waiting for her because we were taking separate airlines, and she's like, oh, let's meet right here. So I was waiting for her, and I was like,
we should just meet
pacing.
here and take off now.
I was sweating, and I had my luggage, it's hot stuff, but I didn't want to take it into the bathroom, and I was waiting for her, and I saw her, and I was like, and then I just ran to the bathroom, and I probably had a few concerned people
Do you start
around me. It was one of those
Short-
where you're like,
short burst
right.
farts?
You're wearing all white, right? You're wearing like an all white outfit.
Yo, Carson McKinney just turned 21.
Oh,
Oh my god.
He is graduate from pineapple juice to the hard stuff. Next time we'll see him at the cons.
happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Wow, he's a man now.
All grown up.
Cool.
Is Carson down in Savannah, SCAD?
No, isn't it?
I think he was at
New York, yeah.
SVA, but I think he transferred to SCAD.
So tell me more about WonderCon.
Well, Courtney was the booth manager for Saturday.
When I wasn't wandering around.
How about this? I'm going to ask you some questions that I kind of know the answers to because
Okay.
I think it'd be kind of interesting for everyone to hear.
All right.
Okay, Bernard, you as a regular comic pro, when did you show up to WonderCon? This is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, everyone. Keep that in mind. When did you show up, Bernard?
Saturday, like noon, 12:30.
Okay, so Friday, your table was just empty. correct?
Yeah, it was just empty,
The show starts like at what, 10 a.m.,
something like that.
10:30 a.m., something
Yeah.
like that. And you showed up at what time?
Saturday at 12.
At what time on Saturday?
12:30.
12:30.
Yeah.
Probably, which equals probably like 1 o'clock, knowing you.
Something like. Well, I
What
showed
time
up.
did you leave?
It was 12:30. He pulled his car up to the Hilton at 12:30.
Yeah, I pulled it up to the hilt. I didn't get into the convention till later, but
I helped.
yeah.
But you know what though? He paid for his table. He wasn't, or he wasn't. The con didn't pay for him, right?
Yeah, I paid
So
for
he-
my table. I can show up
You
whenever I
paid
want.
for your table?
Yeah. WonderCon,
Yeah.
you got to pay for your table.
Yeah. So
Oh.
So it's not like he, had any obligations, I guess, but except to the fans.
No, so I showed up like at 10, and I was trying to get my ticket, but I wasn't able to get it. But even when I was there, it was like a trickle. Like there was really not many people there yet. Even outside, there wasn't many people, so I feel like everybody was coming late anyways on Saturday. So I told Bernard just to don't rush it
Okay,
because
so it's all Courtney's fault.
it's my fault.
Right. It's Courtney. Thank you.
But I did.
And Bernard, just so people know the more difficult parts of this. So you show up, how many suitcases did you have to lug with you?
I had one carry-on, and then I had a comic book box of. So I had like two hand things. Yeah.
Two
It was
hand
like a
things?
roller,
Yeah.
like on the roller.
They're
The
pretty heavy, I actually know.
the carry-on had like all the original art in it, and then the other boxes had brought some Winterman artist edition.
Those were heavy though.
Those are
were
big, yeah.
hard bound.
They're big and heavy. And then and a banner. I had the banner. And then I had like
You had a backpack?
I had a backpack. And I had an extra bag of like incidentals, like a couple of Celsius drinks, half a sandwich, tablecloth. Why? Is that exciting?
Well,
Well,
I think most people probably don't understand like how much stuff you got to bring with you and everything. Like,
yeah, that's just light, because I just figure I'm only there like a day and a half, not even.
Yeah.
And then
just some dude said you brought like 12 copies of the Monkey Prince hardcovers with you as well.
I did, yeah.
Is that
And
Justin or James?
James, probably just some dude, yeah.
Oh, hey James.
And then
James quote?
no,
No. I don't know James' last name. James, what's your last name?
and
Hi.
and
He treated us to dinner on
he
Saturday.
did.
so
He
thank
took us
you,
out to
James.
dinner. Thank you, James.
Wow. Holy cow.
But throughout like Friday and Saturday, I kept getting texts from people saying that my space was being colonialized by a particular colonialist type artist.
By who?
There's a
Oh,
White
it's
people?
White man.
there's certain artists out there that are kind of colonialists.
Arthur Sidem?
Huh?
Man, you're supposed to spill the tea all the time. Look at you.
Sean's trying to create problems. I'm just gonna say he's like a colonialist. He's a super nice guy, but
He's an opportunist.
Absolutely.
I can't stand that.
he's
They
a
try to like take over 1 inch at a time.
no. He didn't try to. He just took over the whole table. It wasn't 1
Oh
inch.
God,
Yeah, there's no more white on the table.
Yeah.
so
So
annoying.
Well, he took over because nobody showed up.
well, but
Friday.
still, if there was somebody next to me, I think the etiquette is. What is the etiquette? Like,
Well, you should ask the other person, right? Be like, hey, do you think this guy, whoever the name is, whoever that artist is showing up, you want to split the table with me until he does? I think that would be the right thing instead of just assuming you're allowed to take it for yourself.
right?
I think there was a little bit of splittage, but he knew Bernard was probably going to show up late from what I felt around the conversation.
Well, most importantly, when you did get there, did he immediately move things away and apologize, or?
Actually, there was no apology. It was just I just quietly moved this stuff over to the side.
Was he there? I feel like he wasn't.
He wasn't exactly.
There
Yeah, he wasn't
not
there when I
there.
first showed up. So I had like.
So did you put your stuff on his table until he showed up?
I was thinking about
Come on.
that, but that would require me
Who is
getting
this
to the
guy?
show early. So
Was it an artist or was it like one of those merch people?
he's a pretty popular artist.
Oh, okay. Let's have some names.
Did they stick all the Asian artists on the same row again?
And
Or-
Ghetto.
No.
That one time I was at Anaheim, I remember it was Dustin, you, me, Norman Rapman.
Oh yeah, right.
We all just looked at each other like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, there's just a lot of Asians in the business.
There is, yeah, but they spread. This year's alignment was kind of weird. There's usually like a bigger mix of artists, right? They'll put like like a pro and a. Did something happen? Is Fletch okay?
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought.
Let's get lost in the Matrix.
Yeah, I
No,
thought.
I'm here.
Oh, I thought Fletch was like, help! I thought something happened.
What?
If Fletch said that, it would be more.
LP.
Well, they group most of and people can, like Mr. Joshua was there, and James was there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It seemed like they were they had grouped more of the pros together, and then the like the mainstream pros together, and then the other artists, and the more indie artists were further
That's
down.
true.
Right? Did it seem like
They
that?
definitely did that.
Because
Yeah.
in the past they would do like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and they spread everybody out. But this year it seemed like they kind of grouped everybody, more the mainstream pros more together.
I actually think that's better for everyone when they do that.
Yeah.
As someone
Is it
that's been
better
on
though?
both
Because
sides,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes they
You
get,
know, like for me, I hate being next to like Dustin Wynn. I mean, I like Dustin. Don't get me wrong, but like I just get covered by his line.
Oh yeah.
Also, if you bought a table and you're like an amateur, it makes you feel better. You paid for a table and you get to be next to Bernard Chang.
Well, like it depends. Yeah, like WonderCon
I mean,
last
yeah, I
year
guess
was
because I'll get his table for Friday.
right. I mean, if you sit next to me, you basically get like a free table for like a day and a half.
Yeah, and also it's also free clout too because you're just amongst the pros. So I know conventions do that. I mean, they mix it all up so that it just incentivizes the people to pay for tables.
I think
You got to be careful too when you're sitting next to Bernard, because he takes advantage of the crowd noise and then farts at times, and just kind of farts in silence.
yeah, masks are off at shows now, so I can't get away with farting all the time.
I don't know about farts in silence. They're not silent.
Like this, well, because like in San Diego last year, we had somebody sit next. I was on the end table, so I had one side was the end of the aisle, but then the person next to me, and in San Diego you only have half a table, whereas here they give you like a full, like a 6-foot table. So in
Yeah.
San Diego it's like a 3-foot table. Like that 6 foot is split amongst 2 people, and then. But that person that sat next to me, this was like their first time displaying, and they had a whole like merch display. They must have had, I don't know, like 50 to 100 items that they were selling, and it was 2 people, and they had their prints and boxes and knickknacks, and it was kind of encroaching upon my space, even though, well, I had the luxury of having an end cap, so when people would come over, I would have like a little bit of extra space. But it was a little annoying.
Yeah.
Their whole table was. It just made me feel claustrophobic too. Like
Yeah.
they're the type that had like they had everything on it. They had like a foot, like shelves that are like a foot long, selling, all their stuff. So it was a lot.
I mean, there are rules at at these shows, but they're hardly really ever enforced. I just feel like. So, I don't know. Not to complain. We're all complaining now. Or maybe me. Hey, Poop Man's here. See, Poop Kid was there last San Diego. I think he can confirm.
Where was he this time?
Yeah, he didn't show up.
His precious Jim Lee didn't come, so he didn't want to show
Oh,
up.
that's right. Did Poop Kid go to Mexico? Because Jim was in Mexico the week before. At Mole.
I see how it is.
Anyways.
Well, I will be at the Mocha Art Festival this weekend. If anyone in New York wants to swing by.
Jerry, what time are you going to show up at the
Italy.
Mocha?
Say what?
What time are you going to show up at the Mocha?
I'm getting there early, so I'm actually, they gave me a couple extra passes.
Oh, wow.
So I just told a couple, I gave one pass out to someone on Instagram. I gave one pass out to a guy that I get lunch from during the week. I gave one pass out to a girl that shops at our store. She's like 15 years old. So I just with this show, I just give out the passes that I get all the extra ones.
Hey,
But I get there. I think the show starts at 10. I'm literally getting there at 9 in the morning.
is it Saturday and Sunday or just Saturday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
This is the show that I scored those Mike Mignola originals at last year.
Oh. Mignola originals?
Yeah, he was there, so I bought a couple. Since I got in there early, nobody recognized him. I walked right up to him and asked him, "Hey, you got any originals I could take a look at?"
Poop Kid is going to Italy. I guess Jim Lee is going to, what's the next show? Lake Como? Lake Como?
That's in Italy.
Is it Lake Como or Cuomo?
Como.
Como. And Fletch, is that an invite-only show or can anybody go? But
It's set up. I think you have to make arrangements with the guy who runs it.
yeah.
But it's the invite only for talent. But you go as a fan.
But as
Poop Man
talent,
is saying that Jim is not doing Lake Como.
oh. But what does that mean, Fletch? Like, do they pay for anything, or you still have to pay for stuff as an artist?
I think talent, the invited people don't pay for flight or lodge or table.
Really? Wow.
I
Frank
believe,
Joe is going.
Fletch, you're going, right?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Are you there
Oh,
for?
man.
Are you there for yourself, for a company, for an
I'll
artist?
be there for myself, but I have a couple of potential business deals in place.
Wow,
Phoenix.
Nice. The other
Fletcher
gripe,
Fancy Pants.
yeah. How long? When are you going to be there? When are you leaving? It's next week, right?
No, it's in May.
Oh.
May. I think May 12th or 13th to that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I'll be gone. Yeah, I'll be gone for a little bit in May.
Snooty tooty.
May is a big month for all of us, including you, Courtney. It's Asian Heritage Month.
Oh, that's me.
Oh,
So proud.
Why?
Hello?
Hello?
Disconnected.
Why is it such a big month?
I don't know, because don't you have I'm assuming that we've all got speech engagements and all that for to speak to the people like Sugar Sean's kids. No?
No.
What are you doing? You're talking to children?
Well,
are you allowed
so
to
my
do
schedule gets pretty busy starting this weekend. Actually, April, I've got I'm doing the Columbia University thing for the Asian something
yeah,
on
that's
April
right.
21st. And then I got the NFT thing on April 13th.
Good.
I've got May 20th is the Ace pop up, and there's something in between I just can't remember. Whatever.
You have a you have a gallery showing in April. Also,
Correct.
right?
Yes, at the Sirhan House in
Sirhan
Soho.
Sirhan.
Surhant. I don't know, something like that.
So you're not coming out here to visit?
No, I think I'll go out to the left coast like in June or something like that.
Somebody just injured themselves.
Is that Fletch again?
No.
It's Bernard.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
What happened?
Bud had just tried to bite a skin tag off of my neck.
He's a murderer, you know.
Yeah, I know. He's like, that looks very delicious. What is that?
I think he's violating his parole.
So Como, you have to contact the show organizer, and you can only go if you're invited, and then they would pay for your airfare and hotel.
I am not sure since I've never been invited. But
Oh,
I'm sure if you're a talent and you wanted like a tape, the owner curates that list and see what's available. Right, takes care of the primary.
right. Yeah, cause you overhear conversations at the
Yeah,
shows, right? So it seems like the person was looking for was inquiring about accommodations that he was going to be covering for himself. But again, I didn't hear everything, so you never know. What I do have a gripe about is that how does one get invited to be a special guest of either WonderCon or San Diego Comic-Con?
It's a little bit tough because they generally don't pay for accommodations, or you might get a special invite. But yeah, it because San Diego Comic Con and WonderCon are owned by a nonprofit. There's a lot more different hoops to jump through. Right.
But there are people. I mean, they no. What I'm saying is, like, every year they publish a list of like special guests.
Special guests, yeah, and that's curated by their committee.
Right.
So yeah, there is a list, but it's a very small list.
But it's the same people every year.
They're also like they're nobodies, right? I mean, practically, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah,
Some of them.
They're really old too. Usually, it's like did something like in the newspaper comics, like in 1950s.
Some of them have emeritus status, so people like Mark Air or Sergio Aragones, they're there every year, and it's like a permanent guest list, and that. But yeah, who to process what they do to evaluate, who's on that list. They usually choose a theme and they run with it.
Okay, because it's usually I look at that list every year, and about, I would say, a third of them, or maybe half of them, are the same people, almost year to year.
Yeah.
And then they'll have like the hot new, so like a third like same people every year, and then a third are like maybe more established artists, and then there's a third of like just new independent artists that really, I don't know.
Yeah.
Really independent artists.
Some of them, but they have an educational, where a lot of the programming is handled through San Diego Library Association. So some of that, some of the guests decided that. Some of the guests are decided by if some of the hot art. I know when it was it's if they did the cover for the San Diego program guide. They
who was that person?
Who does the cover?
Yeah.
It changes every year.
No, I know, but this year's cover was like somebody, but I don't know. Were they like a popular like children's book artist, or I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah.
So
my covers were Main Street people.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Like I remember, like I was talking to Bob Layton once, and for the longest time he had never been invited. And then he made a stink about it one year. I think he made some social media posts about it, and then he got invited that year.
Do it.
So,
Do it.
well, like Sean, have you been a guest of San Diego before?
No.
No, right?
I think you have to be someone famous.
I mean,
Nope.
Sean, you're responsible for the highest selling #9 comic in history, all the comic book history.
All right, I'm gonna make a stink then.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been invited. And
Yeah, but do you know who I am? I'm Sugar Sean.
they, when you get invited, they pay for your accommodations and they give you a per diem. And I'm like, I mean, you got to do a few panels, but I noticed in San Diego, like a lot of times the invited artists, they're not even, they have a table for them in Artist Alley, but they're never there.
They're there for like an hour.
Yeah.
One day.
So I don't know. It's just anyways, I'm not going to San Diego this year. Not for this reason, but just
Because you're not invited.
right. Well, because I'm not invited.
Wait, Bernard, I had a question about that because we were talking about it, and so if you skip like a kind of more famous con, like San Diego Comic Con,
Yeah.
Would it be a problem to like come back the next year necessarily?
I don't know.
Like, are they like?
I think that only applies to guys like at my level.
Wait, what's your level? Awesome, Jerry.
No, I'm being serious though. Like, I think for Bernard, they'll always welcome Bernard.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is a risk, right? This is the gamble. This is the thing where a lot of times you kind of figure out, like saying like, well, if I don't show up this year, then I'm going to have to go to the back of the line.
Yeah. You know what? You could email your contact at San Diego, let them know that you're taking a hiatus for 1 year because you have some other things to to handle. And that maybe they could, they'll hold your table for the following year, this coming year. Yeah.
That's a good language to use. Hiatus.
Yeah.
Sabbatical. What about a sabbatical?
That's too vacation.
That's too freeze.
Hiatus is like self-care.
Okay.
Sabbatical's like.
And that would be totally understandable.
Okay.
So I would recommend that.
Okay, I need to send an email out because I told them I'm not coming.
Well, this would be the year that you would get a lot of the special treatment from them because of the book that you're working on and then your collaboration with Gene Yang. I think that means a lot to a show like San Diego.
Yeah, but that was last year.
True.
Yeah, well,
you just started last year. It was like the beginning of the Monkey Prince, and
I don't know.
That's fake.
Oh, thanks.
So,
but I can see like the exhaustion of San Diego Comic Con too. So
I thought about it. There's other personal stuff I'd like to do that month. And
if you don't feel like it, don't do it.
My buddies aren't going anymore, so it's like last year basically just went back to had dinner with some people, but then just went back into the hotel room because I didn't want to catch COVID. So maybe that was it too. Because I had a trip right afterwards, so I didn't want to catch COVID and have to postpone the trip.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh well. Anybody have any other questions about the convention?
They
Let's
still want to
do
know who was
thing.
that person that took your table.
Oh.
Was it an
And-
older guy with a blue baseball cap?
No.
Yeah,
Blue baseball cap. No.
I'm just trying to see who's next to you in that picture.
Oh. Well, the guy did take a little bit of the space on Saturday, but not on Friday. So, or at least the pictures that were sent to me, he at least waited until Saturday. But the other guy's cool. The other guy did. We joked around a little bit about it. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it a big deal? James was sending me pictures, updated pictures, hour by hour. Eddie was sending me pictures periodically. You guys are just trying
Hey,
to.
can I ask you and Sean a question about conventions?
Sure.
When you guys bring your originals, how many Profolio books is too many?
I just bring one. There's not enough table space. Yeah.
You don't just stack them on top of each other?
Well, you know, those portfolios, they hold more than one piece. So you can have like what? Like you can put like at least 24 or 48 pieces of art there. So
What do you mean, Jerry? I don't understand.
Just because, you know, since I'm getting ready, I'm actually, as we're talking, trying to get my stuff ready for this weekend.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've got different size originals. So, like, I've got my 11 by 17 book, I've got my 9 by 12 book, my 8 by 10 book, and my 5.5 by 8.5 book. Is that just silly, or should I just slap them all into one book?
How much?
Wait, you got 3?
I got 11 by 17, 9 by 12, 8 by 10, and 5. I got 4.
4.
How much room do
I
you
think
have?
that's fine.
I'm just wondering how many of the 11 by 17s I should bring, but that's the one that's the least full, the 11 by 17.
Right, but how much table space do you have?
Oh, sorry, 6 feet.
Oh, yeah, you can fit all of that. Don't you have that Muji board? That Muji.
I do. Yeah, the one Cliff gave me.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, I still got a book stand to give you. I totally forgot.
Oh. You should do the Muji thing, and put that. You can put it all on that, and then maybe make the smaller one. Put that one on the side, and then you have. What else do you have? Like prints?
Prints and books. Yeah.
And then books on the side. Books, you have like book
stands. Yeah.
Book stands, and then here's the other question I'm interested in asking, and this is to everybody in chat. When you're walking by a table and you see like books for sale, but it's just one book on a stand, right? Does that seem more appeasing than a big stack of books and then a book on top? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you guys?
I'm gonna assume that they have more books in the back.
Right, but
So
like, does
it would just be
it
like-
ever cross your mind that, because I tried that when we were at the Boulevard, and I put all the sketchbooks out onto the table, and then a preview copy on top, right? And then as the weekend went by, I specifically, we sold a bunch the first day. You know, every day would sell a bunch, so that pile would get smaller and smaller. So if you walk by every day, or throughout the course of the day, the pile would get smaller and smaller. So it gave the appearance that, hey, we're doing well, and there's not much left. So get yours now. Does that affect any of the buying thinking? Or is that overthinking it?
I think you're overthinking it.
I'm so sorry. I missed everything you guys just said.
I put GI Joes on top of my table. No, so okay. If you have a bunch of books you're selling, right? Do you just put the book on a stand on the table for people to read, like pick up and read and flip through, to buy, or do you stack up? You put a stack of books, and then you
put a stack, right? It's just easier, so you don't have to keep putting more out.
Well, and then you put the book on top. But here's the other thing: is like if you put a stack of books on top, and they don't sell, every time somebody walks by, they see the same high stack of books.
Dude, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, no, that's your perception versus their perception. You're assuming fans are going to see your stack every day and memorize. You had 5 books there and one on top. Your perception is.
Well, I mean, 5, not just like 5 books, but like more like, well, I mean, if you had a big stack that went up, and then then that went down half, then went down.
I'm with Kevin P. West. Most people have more books under the table, as I usually do as well.
Yeah.
Put 5 books, 4 or 5 books, and then 1 book on top with a book stand so that people can peruse. But yeah, I would not worry about stacking all of it up at a table or anything like that.
Because the other thing too is like when you put a lot of them out, it's also like, hey, we mass produce these things. We have a lot of confidence in this project. Right. Whereas if you only have 1 book out, it's like, oh, this is 1 book. Does that?
It's more. It's more of a. It's more of a presentation. How you want to be you can look. We'll see if you're cluttered or you're ordered. And more than something that takes over your booth would not. Perception, how people can see, what your booth is like.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Is like, basically that's the perception. When people walk by, for guys in the chat, what is their perception of when they see something like that, or does it not even cross their mind? Does it not even resonate at all?
Which is why I say you're overthinking.
As CWT, sample artists would make the first few pages readable and then tape shut 80% of that.
Oh, that's true. Especially in comics.
Sorry, like Sean, I'm texting you again.
Interesting.
So Sean will be at the NFT art show with me on April 13th
All
as
right,
well.
Sean.
That's what I've been texting about.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got COVID at that thing last year.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah, this is NFT NYC, so there's a lot of stuff going on around it.
Oh, well, congratulations, Sean.
Well, I mean, I don't know what I would show.
Do you have art covers? Just get a cover or two.
And there is a cover I did for VV from Marvel. It's the Green Goblin one. It was pretty popular, and that's an NFT collectible. I can show the original.
Are you going to sell the original?
Oh, one day.
Yeah, Sean, bring
Sean,
anything from.
Sell it for
Bring some
10,000.
Conan.
Sell it for 10,000, Sean. I bet you it'll sell. Or
just don't take Bitcoin. You got just get cash.
Or collect or sell it for Bitcoin. But then maybe sell it for like 1 Bitcoin.
That's not even. I don't even think 10,000 is Bitcoin.
No, 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like 20 something, right? Isn't it 29?
I don't think it is now. Let me check.
Yeah, Bitcoin's like 20. I thought it was
maybe
like 20
it is.
something.
Let's back up.
So
All
was
right,
your
1
goal
Bitcoin.
to have this commission done for Bing when you see him at WonderCon?
It was initially.
Okay.
But then I realized
wait.
there's no way I'm going to finish it. But he's moving, so I got to get it to him before he moves.
Oh, I saw him. I saw Bane. Wonderful.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take off, guys.
All right, Jerry.
Sean, let's talk. I gave you that guy's number, so you should shoot him a text. And
Okay, I'm gonna ask you more questions about it. I don't know what level of involvement.
I'm literally just bringing like 4 original like covers and pinups and stuff. So I will literally bring some Conan stuff, and like the Shaolin Cowboy cover I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Jerry,
nothing digital whatsoever.
Jerry, make sure he sells stuff for like minimum $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh yeah, but do you have to sell stuff there? I mean, if I don't sell it, then I shouldn't do it, right?
Well, why wouldn't you want to sell it?
Well, it's just not a great economy, so I figure I'll sell things when things are better.
This is the best place to sell something though.
Yeah, these guys.
These
Well, yeah,
idiots.
I'll talk about it with you.
Okay.
offline.
Sure.
I'll tell you what I have in mind.
Okay.
Okay, that's
I like that.
Oh, but can I tell everyone about Conan?
Yes,
Since I'm
Jerry.
now
Jerry has
allowed
a
to
big
tell
announcement.
people. Well, it's not that big, but so I am now. It's official. Finally, I will be drawing. It's just one issue of Savage Sword of Conan, but it's happening, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spill the beans and say Walt Simonson is writing it.
Boop, 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 boop.
Wow. Crush your enemies.
So yeah,
What- When is it coming out?
Pretty cool. It should be as long as I don't f it up. I think January or February of 2024.
Oh wow, that's
a long time.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's taken me forever to draw it because, like an idiot, I volunteered. It's only in black and white because it is Savage Sword of Conan. So I volunteered myself to paint mine, which is taking far longer than if I were to have just digitally, gray toned it.
Conan has switched publishers now, so they were at Marvel and now it's at
So it's a long and windy road. It was picked up by Heroic Signatures here in the States, but they're going through Titan Comics.
that's a
Which is
UK
a
UK
European
publisher.
publisher.
Right? Yeah.
So anyone that will be at Mocha, I will have a couple of the pages on me, just the ones that
Ooh.
I've actually painted.
Nice.
For people to take a look at.
Can they pre-order?
I have no idea. You guys should know the answer to that question better than I would.
Well, can they pre-order from you?
Uh,
Yeah, you're gonna sell it to make any money?
I mean, you're gonna
the
buy
actual
extra copies, right? You're gonna get
I
extra
was
copies.
not planning on it.
What? Why? You still do conventions, so you might as well.
You should get extra copies of it, whether you get it from the publisher, or get a hookup from a retailer, so you can order at the retailer rate.
I do get a hookup at one retailer. I won't say the name because I don't want to,
Right.
everyone to hit them up, but they're very, very, very nice to me.
All right. Because I buy extra copies of Monkey Prince.
Yeah, usually publishers a discount on the book you're working on, a big discount.
I will say some comic gossip here, just because it made me very flattered. They asked our buddy Cliff to do a cover, and Cliff, in Cliff fashion, said he'd only do the cover if it was the cover for my issue.
Wow.
Aww.
That's
Which is
pretty nice.
pretty sweet of him.
So he's not doing a cover?
Yeah, I guess he's not doing the cover.
Wait, are you doing a cover? Are you doing the cover for yours?
No, I am not doing the cover for mine.
Oh, you got it. Why not?
Because I'm not Bernard Chang, man.
What?
Oh,
You're gonna
the-
cover stuff still.
Why don't you ask them to do the cover? I mean, they're gonna do aren't there variant covers?
I don't know. I guess I could ask. I haven't really cared about it, to be honest.
Oh, here's the other thing. You can do a store variant. So, but you have to order I don't know, 1,000 copies or something.
Holy guacamole, no way.
It depends on the publisher.
Yeah. But it could be less than that. A few hundred. And then you do your store variant, and that's actually more rare. And the price, you sell it for more.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a hot commodity my variant cover will be. But anyway, I gotta take off. I gotta pack for this thing this weekend because
All right.
a lot of stuff to do this week.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Thanks. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
All right, see ya. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Because he got to get there early because he's a hater.
He has to pack right now for something that's happening this weekend.
Yeah, I packed Saturday morning. That's why I was late. I mean, Friday night, I had like an event that I went to. And it was a very fun event. So it was one of those, it was like
Mixers.
It was a mixer. It was like there was the merging between entertainment and tech. And free food, free drinks. Got to mingle with a bunch of people. The last one I went to was right before the pandemic, like March of 2020.
Yeah, I went to that one too. That was like the day before everything shut down.
Right.
Ooh.
And Daniel Boo was there.
Yeah.
Who else? A bunch of
Yank.
Yankin Cook was there. Yeah, so it was a big mixer. This one, who were the big ones here? Shannon Lee was there.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Who else? Van Ness. Do you guys know Van Ness? Van Ness is a Taiwanese pop singer. James Cole might know Van Ness. I don't see any questions on. Steve was there. What's up, Steve? Let me say hello to people in chat real quick. Forget. I think Lurky Lurk was first. Jamie was here. Kevin P. West, good to see you. D. Rogers, what's up? Wildstorm. Oh, Wildstorm's here. Good to see Wildstorm. Jimbo's here, our moderator extraordinaire. Carson McKinney, happy birthday. So did Carson get drunk on his birthday?
Oh, yeah. What did he do? Wait, where is he again? You said he's New York?
Oh, I think he's in Savannah. A to the J, thank you for the resub. 31 months. Ooh, wow. Holy cow. Just some dude is here. Way is here. Finally finished Way's commission. Mr. Joshua, thank you for the resub. 31 months. If you guys are just watching, make sure you hit that follow button on the bottom. You can also use your Amazon. Do they still have Amazon provide a free monthly subscription to Twitch?
For now.
Or as they cut that off? Yeah, do that. Don't forget to do that because it's free. It comes with your Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime. Poop Kid's here, of course. Poop Man, Dung Dude. Dung Dude's going to Italy. I'm assuming for Lake Como. It could just be to go there because he's Dung Dude. Let's see. Jeremy Joe's here. Good to see Jeremy Joe. Dr. Midnight. What's up, Dr. Midnight? How you doing? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna check my shirt.
Are you drawing the, what is it today?
The
Galactus?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna finish this and then I gotta get back. I gotta do 2 more covers this week. So
Wow. Cover craziness.
yeah, and then I got the script to my new miniseries. So I gotta.
So you can't say anything about that?
No, I can't. They haven't announced it yet. So it is with the big M though. So I think they'll announce it soon. I don't know. I don't even know when it's gonna come out. But any other Fletch? Any other takeaways from WonderCon? Like the big.
Well, for me, WonderCon was trying to get back to the original, the for the pandemic. I think Saturday was very busy. Friday was busier than last year.
Yeah.
And was busy up to a point too. For me, I was basically mostly indoors on Friday and Saturday. Two big panels with the show sponsor Toei Animation. They were promoting their Knights of the Zodiac movie based on the Saint Seiya manga anime property. That's coming out May 12th. Little plug right there. But they were very happy, with the presence. They almost filled the 1,000-seat room that
Wow.
have. It was about 750, 800 people in that 1,000-seat room. And they had stars like Famke Janssen and Nick Stahl,
That's
Arthur
right.
Koska, Madison Iseman, and Diego Noco. Signing afterwards too, which was pretty good. So, then the next day, Andy Chang, the action director from like Rush Hour, Rush Hour 2,
Yeah.
number of Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Is that who you had dinner with Saturday night? All those guys?
No. Saturday they had to go. The whole cast had to go to Beverly Hills to do a press event to promote the movie, so they weren't around. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good time.
Courtney, was there anything else about your Wondercon that you?
I was just, I mean, I haven't been in probably over 15 years, so
Really?
it's just, yeah, so it's smaller than I thought it would be, I guess. But it was just funny literally running into people, like when I was waiting at Hilton for you, and then I ran into Fletch in Hilton, and then I ran into like Michael.
How did you run into me though?
Oh, I was taking a picture with these two guys, and then I heard that breakup noise. And then I was like, oh shit.
Fletch is actually from another dimension. Interdimensional
Yeah.
traveler, so.
Yeah. He was dressed all nice. He had his little nice little jean jacket on too and stuff. I was like getting that work done. I don't know how you do it, Fletch, because I was just there for the day and I was exhausted. I felt like I was hungover on Sunday, and I drove back not that late at night after we went to dinner, and I don't know. I woke up at 10 and I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, you guys would be, at the convention already. I'm like, I'm exhausted. But it was mostly a lot of the stuff. Anybody who has FOMO, Way High he was messaging me on Instagram and being like, oh, I wish I was there. And I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that was left over from the San Diego Comic Convention the time before, anything kind of big. So, but it was interesting. It's always fun people watching and interesting to see stuff. So it was fun. That was my time. And helping Bernard was always so fun and such a joy. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for helping.
There are no sauna pictures this time, like the infrared sauna.
No, that's at my home.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotta dig those up.
I don't know. I guess actually, well, kind of a tangent. Not really a tangent, but a side note. Hey, come on. I just signed a contract to appear at another show. So, some shows are very. They'll make you sign a contract, and then in the contract stipulates the number of hours you have to be at the show.
Wait, can you say what show it is, or you don't want to?
Not yet. I think they're gonna announce it next week.
Oh, okay.
I have to do a video, announcement.
Sometimes they say you can't appear at a show in the area within a certain amount of time before or after.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's no other show near this area, so I don't think.
Oh, is it the one you're telling me about? You were making plans for?
Probably, yeah. So they so they have like sometimes when you go to shows, because they're in this case they're covering the travel and the expenses. So I guess maybe in the past they've had experiences where artists didn't show up, but it's also just
I
more.
would take it like a vacation.
It's also more like I mean, it's more professional. I don't mind it,
Yeah,
right?
right.
They're just covering
It's all,
they're covering their bases. So
yeah, also, the convention landscape is it's so full right now. So they're definitely covering their bases, and they're, I'm sure, other cons are trying to pluck. Just this past weekend alone, I think conventions taking. Besides WonderCon, there was a con in New Jersey. There was Galaxy Con. There was also PAX East
wow.
Gaming Expo. So there are a number of different things taking place next week. Two big shows. You have C2E2 MegaCon.
Oh, that's next.
So
That's next weekend.
it's coming weekend, yeah. So
Yeah, it seems like all the cons are kind of in overdrive now.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
so much competition going on out there. But that's
So the contracts, they want to make sure you don't pull like a Donny Cates.
Yeah.
I'm not naming.
What happened to that? What happened there? Rumor being.
Nothing happens. He just doesn't show up a lot.
Oh.
I don't know about that, but
I do.
There was
Sean.
Huh? I mean, there's stories that you hear from other like creators that in the past, especially like when these kind of conventions are, pre like these big convention booms. I don't know, Sean. I forgot who it was, but one of the older guys, he told us a story about where some show invited him in Connecticut or something, and then when they showed up, it was really some people picked them up at the airport and then drove them to their buddy's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's Mark Wade.
Was that Mark Wade?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I think it's all very innocent. I mean, these people are like very enthusiastic fans, and if you meet all of his requirements for appearing at a show financially, then you show up and just like, well, there's no show. We just really want to talk to you about process and creativity and where you get your ideas. And I think his reaction was like, get me out of here as soon as possible because
Yeah.
this is not a real show. So I don't know what to think about that.
I mean, I think it's like, well, that must. How long ago was that? That was like early on, right? It's
That
not.
was like
Yeah.
in the 80s or 2000s, yeah.
Yeah. So, because now you can. I mean, you can definitely check like online. I guess you also got to do your due diligence, and check their website, and maybe even sometimes I'll reach out to other creators or artists that I know that maybe have been to that show in the past, and kind of ask them what their experience was. Yeah.
But what's the big damage if it's not a real show? I mean, it just means that you don't have to do all the work of a real show, and then you end up in some guy's house and he just wants to talk about your work and he paid for your time, and then you can say like, well, since it's just us, I can really use like a nice steak, and then they're like, okay, let's go. And then I mean, it's kind of a bait and switch, but I think it saves you from having to face the public and sign 100 signatures a day or whatever.
Right. But wouldn't that make a good like movie, or like
Yeah, it's
good
called
comic
Misery, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
book? Yeah, and then you end up being that's the only show that you can do. So, I mean, what was the smallest show you've been to, Sean? Have you been to?
Well, I mean, I always know they're going to be very small. I mean, sometimes I do little shows in like elementary schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the worst ones are the ones that have big aspirations. Like, we've been advertising for a long time, and you show up and there's nobody there. And then the person running the show, all he does is apologize, and he like hits himself on the head because he's so stupid. And then it's just sad all around,
Yeah. or where the exhibitors outnumber the fans.
Yeah. And this happens a lot with store signings. I don't know like why anyone does comic book store signings, because you can be a big name and you show up and then like 5 people will come in, and then the people who come in the most frequently are the local friends and family that you know.
Yeah, that does get to a point. Sometimes, certainly done a number of store signings where the people signing outnumber the people showing up. So,
But they've been doing store signings for so long. How come they don't know this is going to happen?
it's tough. I think sometimes stores just aren't equipped with enough. They figure like if they put out a piece of paper, like a pamphlet, and the customers come in and see it, that's enough marketing to get people to come out. And I think in the 90s it was, right? I mean, we've done store signings where there are thousands of people outside. But we've also done store signings where there's just like a handful. So, I don't know.
Yeah, if that store like flew you to be out there and then gave you a hotel room, they should know it's not going to work out well for them. But, that's on them.
Space Dive. Space Dive is a new chatter. Good to see you. K-pop Junkie is here. Vodendor. Oh, what's up, Vodendor? Vodendor's been streaming quite often now. You guys make sure you go check out Vodendor's stream. What about Poop Kid? Poop Kid goes to a bunch of shows with Jim. Poop Kid gets to experience the luxury lifestyle when it comes to store signings. What is like, I don't know, I guess I can't say, but has there ever been a moderately attended Jim Lee store signing?
Remember, Jim has those like private poker games. I think Mark Millar was just talking about. He was invited to Jim Lee's private hotel poker game, which I think you've been to, right? I think we've been to a couple of those. Mm-hmm. And then he said that he turned him down because Mark just wanted to go back to his room and sleep. But then this like hot woman, came up to him and was like, can you get me in there? Like, can I go in with you? And he's like, no, I'm going back to my room. And then she pulled out these poker chips and she was flipping around like she's a pro, like they flip around their fingers and do all those crazy things. She's basically one of those people who her goal is to go to that game because she knows there's big money and these are not professional players, and she's going to take all the money.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
I like her.
Well, how does she find out about it? Is there like a...
That's what she does for a living, probably.
Hey, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to a hot woman. That's all I'm saying. You want Jim Lee to take your money? He's rich already. Let her do it. She finagled her way in.
I mean, it's,
power to her.
This woman offered Mark Millar a cut of all the money she's going to take from them.
Really? And did he take it?
And then might lose. Who knows? I mean, you never know.
Did he take it? He didn't go?
No, because it just sounded like really sketchy and very scary.
What? You scared of this woman?
It's the movie Rounders. Right? I mean, Card Sharks. I don't know. You could have gone.
I got in somehow.
He should have gone, and then he would know that she's a mark, and then on a really big hand, like knock her out, take all her money, right?
Like you can control that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's an element of luck in poker.
Yeah.
There's skill.
Okay.
Well, you look at every year during the World Poker Series, and not every year, most of the time, it's like some first-time or young pro that wins it all. Right? You need a hot streak. You need some luck to fall your way. It's never always like the best poker players.
You need to make ballsy moves.
Yeah.
And old professionals start playing it safe.
Because there is an element of luck, and the skill comes in reading people and then knowing when to push people out of hands or bluff them, or when to bet, how to bet people, so that you take control of a situation where you might have a lesser hand.
So when you played in the past, who was in that room?
I don't know. Adam Hughes?
I remember Garib Sheamus. I mean, you knocked out
Garib?
Garib Sheamus
I
once.
did. I knocked him out.
Nick Barucci.
Nick Baruch.
Bernard,
Huh?
just repeat.
Jay Lee. Jay Lee's always there too.
Yeah. Bernard was just replaying what Constance Wu said in that Crazy Rich Asians movie. You know, you got.
What did she say?
You play player, not the. You don't play the game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that
I might.
that's the Constance Wu movie, stripper movie?
No, this is Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh
right in
no,
the beginning.
I think that was the stripper movie that she was in.
She's a stripper movie?
She did a stripper movie with like
With
J
Jennifer
Lo.
Lopez?
Yeah,
J-Lo.
Oh. I didn't know that.
that was her big movie after Fresh Off the Boat.
It wasn't that great.
Then she had to go on her apology tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really have the urge to. I'm really. There's some good news.
You can't share?
Another convention just came through with accommodations.
Yeah, cool. So I guess you'd be doing your frequent flyer miles again.
Yes.
The best show is like when you get there, like in the contract, you get that some kind of per diem. Sometimes you go to the show, and they give you an envelope with cash.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you get like you can negotiate a per diem per day, and then of course you just eat in the green room. So
Bring half a sandwich.
you fill up in the green room, and then there was one show a couple shows I've been to, where they have two green rooms, one for the celebrities,
Yeah.
right? That's like lavishly like Game of Thrones style kind of setup, and then there's a closet for the comic book creators, and then the
Bags
food.
of chips and water.
Well, yeah, it's chips and water, and then the food is the food that they don't eat in the celebrity room. They bring it over.
Yeah. This is after the celebrities, and then the celebrity entourage gets to eat. They
Right.
usually clean everything out, and
Yeah.
then when that's all left over, then the artists get to eat.
Right. So it's always a shock when they allow the comic book artists into the same green room, which is, it shouldn't be that way.
I've sat next to William Shatner, and I've sat just recently next to Lee Majors.
Oh, wow. Where was this at?
Eternal Con.
Long Island.
Yeah, I did the print for the show, and he didn't have enough stuff to sell, so they started signing those prints. So he was filling up on chicken wings in the green room, and I said, "Hey, I did that picture," and then he really liked it. And then I also sat next to him too.
Hello? What was that? You cut out. You sat next to who?
Rutger Hauer
Ooh,
before he died.
wow.
No.
What show was that at?
It's the same show.
Oh,
But,
damn, I gotta go to
I mean,
that
it's
show.
the Eternal Con. They always have a big kind of a media guest thing, and I always do the artwork for it. So sometimes when I see them, I can always say like, "Hey, I drew that," and otherwise I'm just another annoying fanboy.
Is there
No,
a
you
green
should
room
give
at?
them a different story.
Huh? How come last time we went, Sean, we didn't get? There was no green room.
Yeah, there was.
There was? Oh,
Yeah, it's in the skybox.
oh. Maybe.
Yeah. But you didn't miss much though.
I heard that GalaxyCon treats their talent equally too. So the talent from both media and comics all share the same green room. Pretty good deal.
Cool.
So,
Wow. I mean, it's fun. Like, what are we complaining about?
A lot.
This is the complaint episode stream. Yojimbo said he was at our first signing.
Yeah, it was in
Bethesda?
It's in Maryland. What was it?
That
was
was
that SPX?
that was a store
Yeah,
signing.
you know, I have a picture. I don't know if
Was that SPX in Bethesda?
this was
Store signing.
a comic book store, I think.
Oh,
I don't think they're
that
around,
store is
but
no longer there.
I
Yeah,
wonder
it's no
where
longer
I
there.
wonder where the guy is. He seemed like a real entrepreneur. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sean? The guy that kind of
Yeah, I don't know. And one of them is I think there were two guys. One of them is selling mattresses now.
Oh, really?
The guy passed away.
Oh, he
Whoa.
did?
Really?
Oh. That's the main guy that was handling us. He was kind of a real
Is he
smooth
like
talker.
a good-looking guy?
Yeah.
And he had, like a pretty wife. Oh, liver cancer! Oh my God, they were nice guys.
Oh, shit.
Not fun.
Well, that was a pretty cool show. I mean, signing experience altogether. I think they had just opened the store too, right? Or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the guy's name is Joel.
Yeah, right, Joel. And then at that signing too, I reconnected with Spencer. You know,
Oh, dang.
he was at the signing. I hadn't seen him in like, I don't know, like since junior high.
We went to that show in a limo.
Yeah, they
They
picked us up.
in a limo. And then when we got there, I was like, cool, I can't wait to get out. And the guy said, no, hang back a while. You gotta let the anticipation build up. Then we'll come out one by one.
That's why he was a showman. Long gone are the days of limos for us, or for me at least.
Yeah, we're just nobodies now.
Jesus Christ.
The
Comic
complaints
book
on
artists used
this.
to be rock stars. Now
Yeah.
we're just, it's about the writers now.
The complaints
I
on
don't
this
know about
stream.
that.
I wouldn't sell yourself short like that.
Yeah, it's more about your age. You're just
Oh.
old.
Oof.
I wouldn't do that either.
I was
Also,
just
Sean, you're too lazy. You're like, you don't even want to do anything. Anytime it's like, come out here, you're like, nah.
And
I
I just
do
want to
agree
do
with
every single
Jerry.
show. But yeah.
I think I'm getting everything in this. Oh, realize I'm drawing sometimes and then I'm off the screen, so I apologize.
I thought you said you weren't going to do a lot of backgrounds for this one.
Yeah, but these are like the guys getting blown up.
The clown gang.
So
I was thinking earlier today about something that this phenomenon you pointed out. Like, first of all, I was hearing on Twitter, Derek Robertson was responding to he did a comic, and then there was some harsh criticism about someone on Twitter said like they didn't like the book and they didn't like the artwork because it was unprofessional looking or unprofessional. And then he kind of got pissed off and said like, well, I'm very professional, and and I also was never classically trained as an artist, so it is what it is. So then some guy on YouTube was saying like, well, unprofessional is not really the word. He was thinking that he probably meant more that his stuff was a little bit amateurish, and then which brings up this thing about like it doesn't really matter that it's amateurish because there's such thing as an amateurish charm, and I thought that was kind of weird, but.
Who said that?
But I remember a long time ago, some YouTube guy, and a long time ago, back when Wizard was a thing, and we're looking at all the best, hottest artists, and Lady Death was something that was very big back then.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of scratching my head because I didn't know if this stuff was really drawn all that well. And then you said this concept of, I think it was like that amateurish charm thing where you had a theory that their work, like a lot of people who like comics would draw, dabble in drawing, and then that work has a certain look to it.
Yes.
And then they can connect with the Lady Death book because it has that same kind of amateurish charm, which is something that I thought really, because I thought the goal was to get as good as possible, but there is such a thing. And almost like if you draw too well, it's kind of off-putting,
Yes.
sometimes like a girl that's too pretty can be kind of intimidating, and then you want that girl next door look instead or something. So I was wondering if you still thought about that, that there is something to that, where
I think
you don't
definitely.
have to draw that well.
I think there's definitely different. I don't. Well, there's artwork or there's artists that produce artwork that's a little bit. There's some artists that you can tell that, man, this person has really devoted a good amount of their life into this craft. They can draw pretty much anything that they want, to a degree of like polish. But then there's some books or some artists, and their stuff is just not as refined, and really has almost a slight amateurish kind of tint to it. And yet they're extremely popular, and they're, if not more so than someone that is, has really refined work. And I attribute that to, like, there's a particular level of competency in the craft that is easily replicable by other more amateur artists. And so then fans, at least back then, as a kid, I remember I would like pick up a comic book and I would try to replicate. I would copy some of the drawings that the artist would do, and some artists I could, and some artists I couldn't. Obviously, the ones that I could, I would continue to draw slightly in that style, or continue to replicate and look for more work, and it becomes kind of like a reaffirming cycle. I think, is that K-pop's leaving?
Yeah,
Or the
oh,
D. Rogers
is gone
leaving.
too.
D. Rogers, okay. All right, D. Rogers. Safe flights. Happy flying.
Well, these are the hallmarks of what I think is part of the amateurish charm. I mean, the good things about it. I think a lot of times there's a lot more detail. Because like if a guy's like really good, like Alex Toth, a lot of times they don't put in a lot of detail. So the detail is sometimes easier to do than actually figuring out how to draw perspective or anatomy more accurately. And then another thing that you notice about that stuff is it has a lot of like dynamics and a lot of presence to it, like really bombastic stuff. Sometimes a lot more than someone who draws well, like like a Rob Liefeld. It's like extremely dynamic, and the page is just kind of like shimmering with energy. And but his draftsmanship is not the best. So there's stuff that really they can do a lot of times a lot better than experienced draftsmen. And this makes me wonder, like, if it kind of gives hope to people who are trying to do this for a living. You don't have to get to that 95% and above. You can actually get to about like being about 70%, and then it's more important about like what you say and what you're trying to do with your art rather than how you draw stuff.
I think, yeah. Sorry, Fletch. Just,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, there's no more other evident is than like anime or manga.
I was gonna say that.
Manga is drawn in a way, or animation in general, right? It's very simplified. Part of that is because you have to have this team, hundreds, the dozens to hundreds of people, all working at a same level. So you can't work at the very best level. You have to work at somewhere in the middle or so that you have other people that can kind of bump up to that. And because it's a team effort, right? Everybody's drawing. It's not one person drawing something. Manga is similar, right? The style has to be simplified in the person and the characters. I mean, there's different people in the studio. Some people that are just doing buildings and backgrounds, and some people that are just doing cars, and some people that are just drawing figures. But the figures are mainly done in such a simplified style that you can get a lot of different varying degree of skill set artists to replicate in a production format. So, and then comics, American comics has a similar kind of charm, a similar kind of thing in that I believe that sometimes certain popular artists are popular because other fans can replicate their work as opposed to just reading or appreciate it. I don't know. Fletch, you were going to say something?
No, I mean, you pretty much covered. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, the manga and anime artists, sometimes they have to follow the house style and really kind of, block in and be homogenistic, right, in their style. Well, and comic art, as in regular art, it's all different. It's in the eye of the beholder. Each artist it's on themselves whether or not they want to stay at that level or try to improve. And some people get complacent, like, hey, you know what? They like what level they're at, and they choose to not develop or not get to that next level. Like you look at somebody like a Mark Brooks. When he first started out, it was good, and the way he's developed over the last few years, though, I mean, he's just really, I think he's really exploded, kind of, developed, changed his style a little bit, and really become like kind of an elite artist, right? Or even George Perez's early days, to where he, ended up towards the end. It's everybody's style. There's some people whose style never change.
Yeah.
Stagnant. But everybody's different.
Who? Did you say a name there? I missed it.
Well, maybe they think that there's no need to. Like I said, like if you can get into the 70% territory, then you're in the door. So all you gotta do is make sure you say something loud and make it exciting, and that's what carries it the rest of the way. Getting to that from the 70% to the 99%, where Bernard is, it takes too much effort, and it doesn't make that much difference.
I think it depends, though, on what kind of story you want to tell or what you want to be on. Like, if you're trying to do something, specifically like for Spider-Man, yeah, I think you need to be, up there. But, you can't kind of be, I don't think they're looking for kind of like something half-assed because they're expecting more. Or not half-assed, I take that back. But, at that 70% level, I could be wrong, but also a majority of manga is made by like one person usually, and maybe they'll bring somebody over to do inking, or like background or like the tones or something like that. Majority of them, but also it's about. I've seen some very detailed manga. I think we all have. There's a lot of artists out there that are extremely detailed. But then also it just depends on kind of like the story that you're going to you want to mold for the people. So like in manga, a lot of like shoujo and stuff like that, they're concentrating on the relationship and less about like action, adventure, and fighting. So it's you want certain features to kind of pop out. So I think if you want to go towards that, the fighting, action, adventure, concentrate on making those really bombastic. And if you don't, and if you just want to kind of tell a story, then concentrate on something else. But what I realized more recently was It's really, creating the universe too. So if it's not just about really good looking characters, it's also about making everything very cohesive and more interesting. So I think having something interesting in general is gonna get you further, I think.
Very true. Going back to
I'm
Sean's thing about the artwork being very energetic and having, I think some of that too. There's some of those artists that we mentioned that are kind of in that area. Their work also tends to be heavily hatched. That there's a lot of line work in there. Sometimes to the excess that you don't need that much ketchup or icing on the cake. But they're using that as a compensator for figuring like right now. Look, I'm kind of doodling and I'm getting into this explosion and I'm trying to create a little bit more as opposed to just having. The more I add to it, the more depth it creates in the explosion or the fireball or the smoke. And you can really begin to see kind of where there's like a light source coming in from the middle. I kind of want like this whole area in the middle to be like bright, and then it's getting darker on the outside. And then I think the fans look at that and they resonate with the energy that's in the piece through the lines, all of these, speed lines. But sometimes it's used as a masking tool to.
It's like a crutch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crutch I use. So.
I mean, Arthur Adams has like a really, really intense hatching style, right? Where he does a lot of like lines, but he does it in a very textural kind of method, and very methodical, as opposed to I think some artists that might be doing it to kind of just, oh, I need this to look good. How can I make it look good? I'm just gonna throw a bunch of hatching in there and make it look energetic. And then sometimes the reader will be like, wow, this guy really put a lot of work in it because it's just a lot of lines. Right? So then it must be worth more or must have more value. If that makes any sense, or if people resonate with that. Thank you, Dr. Midnight. All right, Way's got to go to sleep. Happy holidays, Way. I still owe him a piece of artwork.
What?
Greetings from Melbourne. Crispy Papa. Oh, so Fletch, where else are you going then? You got Lake Como.
Lake Como. I have a Abu Dhabi Book Festival. So flying from Lake Como to Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
wow,
nice.
International man of mystery.
I'm telling you, well, you better get all those airlines aligned.
Yeah, and then I fly from there to I'll do MCM London. It's gonna meet up with there. More of a social call, and then back to LA, and getting ready for San Diego.
If you're going to London, man, you should go up to Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah, go to a distillery, dude.
Yeah, I was already debating whether I have enough time to be able to service my my clients. That sounds wrong, but
sounds right. You mean?
Yeah. Hello.
What's his name? Frank Whiteley is doing some work for that island you went to with. So he's doing some whiskey related artwork.
Isla?
You should try to. Yeah, I think you should try to get into that to see if they can use you for something.
What is he doing over there?
I don't know. I mean, he can't really say much about it, but I think his latest project is. I mean, he does more illustration stuff now than comics. I think it's probably illustration more than comics, but it's got to do with fancy whiskey. So.
Oh, I thought he was doing a Mark Millar book.
Yeah, but that book is done.
Oh, it's already done. Oh, okay.
I think it comes out tomorrow. I'm getting that
Oh.
book. That's gonna be something else.
It
The
comes out
ambassadors.
Oh, wow. Is it only one book or is it?
No, I think it comes out twice a month for like it might be like 6 issues.
There's a Korean girl on it,
Yeah.
but isn't that the same? Isn't that looks like the same costume as our boy Kreese?
Yeah. Yeah, the Tiger Division people.
Yeah, I thought that was what that book was when I first saw that image. And then Pepsi changed their logo. You see that? So Pepsi changed their logo now. They have a new logo.
Really?
Yeah. They just announced it, I think, today or something. So it used to be like that Korean Airways kind of looking, like smooth. It's more retro. It's a little retro now.
Oh.
With big block Pepsi letters.
New York changed its logo too. The I Love New York. Sean, did you see that?
I did not, but the old one has been around forever. I think.
Yeah, I
Saul
think that
Bass did
they
that.
knew it and everybody's pissed because they don't like it. It does look not good.
What is the new logo?
It's We Love New York.
It's what?
What was that for?
Yeah, they changed it from I Love New York to We Love New York.
Oh, you're right.
Oh.
It's, I don't know. It looks bad.
Okay, Mark Millar. What is it? Oh, The Chosen One. Okay. Here, let's take a look at that real quick. Take a break.
What are we looking at? The cover by Frank Whiteley.
Yeah. So what is this? The Ambassadors issue 1.
The Ambassadors. Yeah, it comes out tomorrow, I think.
Let me make this smaller.
That looks like a Matteo Scalera variant cover.
That's Matteo Scalera. Okay. This is the.
I think it.
This looks like
the
Pepe.
Korean flag.
So is this Mark Millar doing his version of the Global Guardians, or?
What is the Korean
Yeah.
flag?
I think it's people are given superpowers, so they pick one member from each country to represent each country, and they become superheroes.
Is there a
And
character
this
from
girl's the
Taiwan?
ringleader.
What about North Korea?
What about what? North Korea?
North Korea.
Yeah.
Those
The
are the
supreme leader.
those are the
No.
evil ambassadors.
Well, where is he? I wanna see it.
Kreese. How many E's in Kreese? Oh, there's 3 E's.
3 E's.
I don't know about that, but whatever.
I want a funny artist name when I put out my comic book.
Do you think Kreese is going to change his name after a while? Or is it still going to always be
No.
Kreese?
You know that he's not the only Korean Kreese.
Really? There's
Because,
another?
because Chris is a very popular name,
Yeah.
and so it's sort of like a Korean version of the name Chris, and quite often it's spelled with 3 E's.
Oh. Okay, so this is Kreese. Oh, I guess it's not that same. It's not that same. I just remember like seeing it, and I was like, "That looks like. Is that like Kreese's new character? Why is this a moving eye? Ugh." Okay, here we go. Here's a photo still. No, it's very different. It's different, but it still
it's
has
very
a
different.
still
no
has a Korean
resemblance at
logo.
all.
Well, it still has a Korean logo as a chest emblem.
I think maybe you're thinking about was it the DC character Rising Sun with the red, white,
You mean the
Yeah,
the Valiant character,
the Valiant character? No,
right?
Rising Sun was a DC character with
Yeah.
a costume with a red center.
So
Look up DC Comics Rising Sun.
Okay. Ooh, this is pretty racist here, but
why do we always end up talking about something pretty racist, huh?
You gotta
hold on. I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
Pulling it.
There
Is
it
that
is.
a female character?
Oof, this is
Male.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's male.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
This doesn't look that recent. I mean, like that long ago. Oh wait, okay. There's one that's a very long time ago.
yeah.
I mean, it's still right after World War II. So was he a bad guy? He had to be a bad guy, right?
Is he a bad guy? Rising Sun.
I think he was part of the Global Guardians. I want to say.
Well, I guess it is.
I think
This is awkward.
Oh,
I mean, I get it.
Rising Sun
The
is
Land of the
IDW.
Rising
hey, there's Bernard's drawing.
Huh?
yeah, Gene used him for his new Superman too, didn't he? Or did he talk about him? Or
Oh, I don't know.
your cover for new Superman?
Where's
All the
my
Asian characters.
Where's my drawing? You guys saw it?
Yeah, your cover was there for a second.
Oh, this one.
There.
Which one?
This one. Hold on. That's the karaoke one. But that's new Superman.
Oh,
Katana.
Karaoke.
Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't look that much similar then. Sorry.
Never mind.
Never mind. But, that's funny, right? It's how sometimes things stick in your head and then you really look at it and it's like, oh, well, maybe not.
Yeah, it's the Mandela effect, right?
Possibly. That's becoming more and more real these days.
Mm.
Oh, there's a Cuban ambassador. The UK. Interesting. Okay, well, you're gonna go pick it up, Sean?
Yeah, if it's on Comixology, I'll get it.
Oh, you're not actually going into a store.
No,
He doesn't
but
leave.
it's got Frank Quietly, Olivier Coipel, and Pepe Larraz. I think are all in it.
They're all drawing it?
Yeah, I think so. If not this issue, then kind of spread out. So this is a Frank Quietly piece. That's
Wait, which one? Oh, this
the
one.
one with
here.
the airplane. Yeah, it does great backgrounds.
So this is it an anthology of different ambassadors or?
Hey, I don't know.
They should. That would be nice. I do think we need to do anthologies or anthology type format books.
Well, anthologies don't usually sell.
That's the old marker, right? That's the old.
Yeah,
But
that's what they always say.
But then you look at Japanese manga and it's all anthologies. Because it's anthologies to get out as many stories, different stories. You're having you're trying to introduce new characters.
Wait, what do you consider anthologies? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gotta define some terms.
Just
here.
a book with many different stories in it.
But I think it really depends on whether those characters have been around before or whether they're just ideas from different writers that have never been seen.
I thought look, when Valiant relaunched, my pitch was instead of trying to do monthly books, you should do miniseries in addition to anthology, where you have one book that has 4 or 5 different stories in it. There's a Dr. Mirage, there's an Exo, there's a Shadow Man, and then there's like a, I don't know, some other thing. And then you come out somewhere, you come out also maybe perhaps bi-monthly, and then you'll see which ones resonate with fans. The ones that do resonate, maybe you expand into a miniseries on its own, independent, and then you continue other series in the anthology, and then every month you have a new story start. So you have all these
That's like
threads.
that very competitive Japanese model where you have that business reply card and you fill it out and say like which story sucked, and then when they get the response, they'll just cut that guy. Like you no longer have a job anymore.
Yeah. So people are going to buy EXO, right? Because that's the flagship title. And then you get them, you feed them a secondary story of a new character that might resonate with a new audience. But you're not also as a company committed to 4 or 6 issues. You're just committed to the equivalency of like 2 or 3. So there's a budgetary issue too. There's a budgetary reason. You're not
like
marketing independent
Yojimbo
projects.
said it's like Marvel Comics Presents. So Marvel Comics Presents, I think, was maybe like twice a month, and that's the one that Barry Windsor Smith called Amateur Hour, because it's a lot of times of just writers who does like they do 8-page stories and they can't really put them anywhere else, so they kind of put them in. And it's like a tryout book for new talent.
Yeah.
And then since no one really cares about it, wouldn't sell, they would put in the heavy hitter like a ringer like Barry Windsor Smith, and take his story and chop it up into tiny pieces and put a little bit in each one. And I think people bought it for Barry's book. I'm not sure if anyone remembered any of the other.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, it's
stories
been
that were
so
in there.
long. Yeah, who knows? Like, if any of that other stuff. Like, again, it's all. I think it's. My thing is that it's all continuous stories, not 8-page one-offs. I think 8-page one-offs, or even like a single issue 20-page one-off is not enough. You need to continue it. You need to commit to it, but you don't need to commit to it as a full-fledged miniseries on its own, because eventually the sales and all that is going to.
I agree. It's a great way to do. I mean, what I've been doing lately is a lot of the minimum viable product, it's called, where you just start a story, and then if people want to read more, I mean, that's how like Wingman. It was just basically a start, and then if people looked like they were interested, I'll do more until I got all the way to the end. And then there are some that I just kind of like cut off and stopped. So.
Yeah, but those breaks are few and far between, right? I mean, like it's all about taking a chance and we're finding out which character resonates with fans.
Right. It's all about finding out.
It's very democratic, And it's a really like a true focus group, because I think the only problem is that there are kind of stories that take a while to build an audience, and it's just like the pilot seasons on TV. Like a lot of times these shows get cut after the first season, and the writer's like, well, it doesn't really heat up until the 3rd season, but we're building to it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Nobody wants to give us any keys to a comic book company, so.
I got one.
You got keys to a comic book company.
Oh.
I think it's a matter of time. Well, we know a lot of people, and there's a lot of wealth out there, and there's a lot of comic book fans who have just come into their wealth, and they don't know what to do with their money, and they're friends of ours, so eventually they're going to throw their hat into the ring.
Well, you're the first guinea pig out, Sean. You're the first guinea pig to run outside of the farm into the wild. So we'll see how far you go. Hopefully you can run all the way and build a new home. But you're the first one out. All eyes are on you. No pressure.
All the pressure.
All right, I don't know. How much more work do I have on this?
Well, did you do the main figure?
I already did the main figure, yeah.
Can we see the whole drawing somehow?
Let me pull out.
Wow, that's a good Kaneda.
Pull out. Oops. Oh, shit.
What?
Did the bird get it?
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh. No, what do you tell Bing?
Don't tell Bing.
It's fine.
Oh,
That means it's a very lucky piece.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no smell. He's okay. So
It's bird poop. It doesn't have that bile in it, right? It doesn't have that sulfur or bile that mammal poop has. It's just basically like oatmeal.
some yeah, it's well, the parrotlets, they don't have a large intestine. Well, they do, but it's not really large. It's not long. So the food doesn't sit inside their stomach that long and ferment. So basically, it doesn't smell. There's no odor.
Well, Dr. Midnight said he's going to be checking out a lot of my Valiant work. You know, like he's been checking out your Valiant. And you might be proud of your Valiant work. I would say do not look at anything I
I
did
know.
at
Look
Valiant.
at everything.
I don't really like my Valiant work
Okay.
that much. I do like Chaos Effect. The work on Chaos Effect I liked, but the other stuff, I mean, what was that? You know, these conventions too, they have a double-edged sword, right? So people will bring up old books to get signed, and you know, sometimes I flip through them, and it's like a nostalgic trip down memory lane. But then you also see, like, I also look at older work, and I'm like, oh, what was that drawing? Like, how did I draw that face? What was I thinking?
That was growth, though. And that shows, you recognize, what works and what doesn't work.
Oh yeah, of course. That's what we tell other young artists. But then it still doesn't. That doesn't account for the depression that sets in. Well, because you
Yeah,
question
for me,
yourself.
It's downright painful. Like, sometimes you can cringe so hard that you actually hurt yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I get, yeah.
No, and because you question yourself, because at that time when you drew it, it looked good. But now you look back at it, and you're like, oh, it was not very good, and or it wasn't as good as you thought it was, and then you question, well, is the stuff I'm doing now the same?
Yeah, will it age well?
Right? Is it? Look at this guy. He's trying to get in on the action. You already pooped on the drawing, dude.
Whoa, he's walking right across it.
Yeah. He
What
was
a menace.
he was perched on the camera arm, and then he hit it right on the bottom. I got it. I got most of it. I'm gonna cover it up with some ink. And yeah, so you really do question yourself. Like, is the stuff that I'm doing now, am I gonna see it like in a month or so later from now? I'm like, oh, what was I doing?
Yeah, most likely you will. But what are you going to do? Stop,
That shouldn't paralyze you. That was the best you at the time. And, new you, it's see things with a different eye.
Yeah, and then, I just don't look at that stuff. I mean, it's too painful. Like, what's his name? Adam Driver doesn't watch himself. And if he goes on a talk show and then you ambush him by showing a clip that he has to sit through, I think he just walks out.
Yeah, I try not to read old comics. Once it comes out, again, I'll look at it once or twice to assess what that issue was, where I might have made different choices or maybe mistakes that I made, and then put it away and not almost like never look at it again.
But sometimes it's good to be nostalgic. Sometimes it's good to see where you were and take pride in where you are now, as far as the growth that you've accomplished in the experience.
Yeah, we all keep
Yeah,
old artwork because of that, though.
I don't get a lot of times, like Bob Layton is one of those guys that can look back at his past work with a lot of reverence and show that stuff. He can show stuff from 2 or 3 decades ago. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. Like, but I wouldn't be able to show anything more than a few years old.
Don't worry, I'll post your stuff on Discord, Sean.
It's almost like
I just found some good stuff.
it's almost like when you post younger pictures of yourself with like those wild hairstyles that you thought like a good
Yeah, but then
idea.
again, you were younger looking. I mean, who looks better now than they did 20 years ago? you
Well,
know?
but it's also the fashion, like the clothes that you're
Yeah.
wearing, or I don't
Yeah.
know.
Really good.
Can we see a picture of Yojimbo and us at the signing?
Yeah, well,
I have a picture. Yeah, you were wearing a tie.
A
he
top.
was wearing a tie.
Was I?
Were
I got. I
you
got.
wearing
I think
I
both
was
of us
very.
were wearing a tie.
Really? You wore a tie
They
too?
wore ties?
Yeah, I wasn't wearing a tie, and then you said like, "Dude, you gotta wear a tie. This is a signing." So you gave me a tie, and I put it on.
Really? I was very preppy back then. I was very much into
Yeah.
dressing up. I mean, the first few months of showing up at Valiant, I would always wear a shirt and tie whenever I went in to drop off pages. So, and people were like, why are you dressed up, man? Like, everybody was wearing t-shirts and jeans and sneakers. And I would come in with like a collared shirt, tie. I don't think I wore a blazer when I came in. Maybe like a jacket.
Sometimes you did, yeah.
Yeah.
And you had amazing hair that was like shaved on the side,
Yeah.
and it was like really long and up in front.
All right, I need to see pictures.
Even when I started my work at when I moved out to Disney here in L.A. and I started working there, I would wear a shirt and tie and slacks and dress shoes to work every day for the first year, and all the artists were wearing t-shirts and jeans, and then they were like, "Dude, why are you getting dressed up?" I'm like, "This is a job." You feel good when you get dressed up. I look professional.
Sometimes the artist, if you're like, if I went into a meeting, if they wanted to buy with Carl and we're talking about Genesis, Carl will have to wear a suit because he's representing 24/7 Comics.
Yeah.
But me being the creative, it's my job to look like shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, fashion has definitely changed. Right. Actually, you might get points. You might get points for who was that guy that was the FTX guy,
Yeah, that guy,
right?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah.
Guy who's jail.
But he was able to swindle a bunch of people out of money and he would show up at meetings playing video games, right? What was that? Is that the lure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's part of the whole mystique.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be some sort of genius. Well, I guess that works in the same way, just looking kind of crazy. You better be a genius if you're going to look crazy.
Yeah, what's crazy about that guy is that was his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's awkward.
And they had
They're
like
all
this
awkward.
open orgy, this thing going on. Now, like, oh boy.
That's an orgy I don't want to see. Don't sign me up for that one.
But wasn't
It's not.
she technically everybody's girlfriend or no? Like
They're in
they
a
were in
loving,
a-
committed relationship, but
Oh.
they have sex with other people,
Oh,
I guess.
okay.
What do I sign up?
With them?
Was that a
I
company
think
perk?
she's like the only girl there too.
I mean, have you seen her? She ain't that cute. She's not cute at all, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of scary looking.
But
Yeah,
how much money did they swindle? I mean, it was a lot.
Billions.
Yeah, it's a staggering the amount that they lost.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business.
It's not your job to look like crap, Sean. It's a choice.
No, I mean, I was told that the creative has to be the worst dressed one in the room. I was like, no problem there.
Is that what Carl told you?
No, I mean, I've done a lot of ad jobs where you have to work with the director. The director comes in and tells you what he wants. You draw storyboards for him, and the director comes in drunk, and his tattoos all over, and he looks like looks terrible, and he's barely able to speak because he's really tired, and it just seems like this is what a hot director is like, you know.
It's true.
I don't know about our society these days.
I don't think Spielberg's ever got into a meeting drunk.
All right. Anything else I need to add to this? How much time are we in? Oh, 2 hours. Shit, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I feel another bird poop coming up from Butthead.
Oh, your personal poop.
I'm fine
so-
right now. I didn't eat dinner yet.
When
How long
Butthead committed, I was gonna say that when Butthead committed that act was is it mating season?
It's mating
Around-
season,
yeah,
yeah.
mating-
Yeah, it's around mating season
Okay.
right now. So
Okay, so I mean, what happened there wasn't. It's just nature. I mean, they get aggressive, and they subconsciously try to eliminate the competition.
either that or Butthead was getting frisky with I mean Beavis was getting frisky with Butthead. And Butthead was no.
no means no.
They do get they get in the birds they have a tendency to not a lot of pet shops carry parrotlets, first of all, because they are known to be fairly aggressive with each other. Even mated and bonded pairs will still fight with each other and kill each other. Even mated pairs like a boy and girl and they've had kids, like little baby parrotlets. There's still stories where you wake up and they find one bird on the floor dead.
Ooh.
So, I mean, for the longest time, I would have like some kind of anxiety every morning, wondering like, am I gonna find a bird on the bottom of the cage floor, like dead? Because they fought at night.
I'm wondering, do people usually buy females? I mean, if you had a book on parrotlets, they might encourage you to buy females.
I don't know. Female birds will lay eggs too, even if they're not.
Yeah, they just
lay eggs. Yeah.
they're non-reproductive eggs.
Like I thought about getting a female bird, but then I would have to get like 2 female birds at that time for Beavis and Butthead. But then if I did that, like every year I'd have like all these little birds.
Oh, little birds. Sorry.
I want to do that thing where you go to the Korean grocery store and buy the quail eggs and
Yeah.
then
You want to
put
hatch
them
it?
all in the incubator. Yeah, I think like maybe one out of I don't know how many you can actually get a little quail baby.
Maybe.
Oh, quail baby.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me. Although you can probably just buy the quail through the mail, but I kind of want to try
I
it.
saw quail babies on Instagram. They're like the size of like a quarter.
Yeah, they're
Tiny.
cute.
Yeah, they're super cute.
I mean, you guys can see I just moved the camera. There's Butthead sitting on the other camera, overlooking this table. So
Judging you.
he's just kind of sitting there looking at me. What's up?
I gotta run.
You don't like this bird porn, Fletch?
Too much fun.
You got a lot of traveling in your future.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do. I gotta make dinner. Shit. All right.
No.
All right, take
All right.
care, Fletch. And
All right, Fletch.
Hey.
safe travels and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll be here for most of the month of April, but yeah, we'll be in touch.
Okay, let's do sushi again.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, brother. All right, guys.
Happy holidays.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.
Happy holidays.
On. Take care. I'll
All
talk
right.
to you guys in a bit.
I think I got maybe 1 more hour on this. I gotta
An
do these
hour.
logos. I'm gonna fill in the background. Like
Oh God, with what?
it'll be like all speed lines. I think if I go back here, let's see. I gotta pull the camera back out a little bit more. Woo! Like speed lines. This would make it look cool, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'd rather do it on the computer. But right, this is just what we talked about. As many lines as you could put in there, people would be like, "Oh, wow, must have put a lot of time in."
Well, the good thing about speed lines is if there's an area that catches a lot of light, sometimes like the white of the paper doesn't really sell the idea that there's light on the, like where that windshield is. When you put the speed lines around the windshield,
Yeah.
the windshield will actually light up.
Yeah. So he's talking about like, let's see if we did this, like right around this. Oops, sorry. Right around this area here.
Yeah, you're off camera.
Right. Right around this area here is where it would. Yeah. I don't know. Or should the speed lines keep going this way? Should they go in?
Oh, it's green.
It already looks better with the speed lines.
Yeah, everything's better with speed line. But if you were in Japan, someone will do that for you.
Yeah.
Just tell them.
I'd just be like,
But you know what's funny? If you're in Japan and you are, this is your book, and you have to hire the assistants, and you might have like 4 or 5. It's your responsibility to feed them. You know that?
wait, so Courtney said that most manga is only drawn by one person.
That's true.
Is that true?
Are. Yeah, because there's, I mean, most, if you're talking about like some of the top ones, there's a shit ton here, first of all. There's like a ton. But yeah, most are just, kind of like little indie brands, or they'll have like a helper, but
Right.
it's definitely not like a team. It's not like One Piece or
So they,
something like that.
well, not One Piece, but there's also like, okay, so like the indie people, those are the ones that are just, how are they comparable to the U.S.?
I mean, some of them do. I mean, if they get something that is once a month, sometimes if they don't finish it, they'll do it like once every 2 months. So, I mean, more people are actually just going, fully digital and not doing print, not bothering with print. So I think they're exploring different ways to kind of get into the industry. But yeah, now, I mean, if you're doing, like you said, a lot of manga is more simplified. It's something that can be like kind of finished. So it just depends on like what the needs are too.
But if
And-
you're
and
doing,
if
if
they're
you're doing a
this-
book like this, let's say if you're doing this book, right? This is the food book. This
Food book.
this is a team.
that person definitely has more people involved in that.
It's usually a person is in charge of gray toning.
Yeah, but like a lot of mangas, and especially when people are first starting out, just them doing on their own, and if they can get somebody else, it's usually them, and it's their story, and that's what they're supposed to do. It doesn't matter how, because you don't get paid a lot. They don't get paid a lot,
Oh,
like at
yeah.
all. You can't. How are you supposed to pay other people? You can't. So
Yeah,
it's
that's why
like,
they're doing it alone. And then they work digitally now, so it's a lot faster.
a lot
And
more.
so those speed lines are all just basically like pre-done, and they just kind of put them in place.
Man, this book is making me hungry.
How's that? Okonomiyaki?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Like they have that different genres of comics in Japan, whereas here it's really only one thing. It's superheroes.
Well, there's indie comics too. I just saw like an article about, I think it was featured in the Times, that was talking about a comic that became, it was like a short comic initially, digital one, and I think it's like kind of a boys' love. It's an American one though, and it's now like becoming a TV show on Netflix too, and it's something I never, a style I never like I would go for, and a story I wouldn't really read anyways. But it's just this one girl who did this story, and it's super simplified. Her art is very, very simple, and
Yeah,
it
that
has
stuff is
Netflix.
it's really like a very simplified style, and those stories that are only like 3 panels long
Yeah, those
just do
were
so they do really well.
yeah, they do.
Very
But I mean,
simple stories.
it's definitely a different. You can't explain, any type of like DC or Marvel story in those like 3 panels. Like it's just they're almost different mediums at that point. I get it, they're comics, but it's so different, and and I think there's so many other different manga type stories too, and like so. But yeah, for the most part, I would say a majority of artists work by themselves in manga, except for like the very, very, very popular and the ones who can afford it. And unless you're really popular, you can't afford it.
It sounds like a crazy work schedule for very, very little pay. And
Yeah,
I'm not even sure why they get paid so little, but
yeah.
um,
Well, I, I don't know. I guess it's the same as like animators. Like they keep on talking about having a animator shortage for anime, um, but there's not actually like a shortage. There's plenty of people, but they just get so burnt out, or because they don't get paid that much either. And it's kind of running into this whole like people talking about like using even CGI more, or that other bullshit where it steals. I can't even think of
oh
any.
yeah, AI.
Yeah, there we go. AI, to make up for this. And it's like, you can't make up for it. That's not going to happen. So what's happening is like a lot of um, the smaller, animation studios are struggling a lot because they're just not getting, you know, they're not getting funded, because a lot of the funding actually comes from, if it's shown on TV and they get certain funding before that, or people basically invest in these shows to be made because they're going to make money from it. So it's kind of interesting because the money comes elsewhere a lot of the times. I don't know, it's it's interesting. But I think artists are struggling kind of, all over the world. You have a few of them that are doing like extremely well, and some are doing very well, and then others are, just trying to make it. And if you go viral or anything, then that's great.
Was that a Junji Ito book you were showing?
Yes.
That horror one?
Yeah.
That's really crazy popular stuff.
He's
Pretty
super,
sick.
yeah, he's one of the most
Oh yeah, yeah, that guy is
popular,
sick.
yeah, for like horror.
It's so well drawn too.
Well, speaking about artists that kind of just like plateau, I've actually seen artists that I feel like their art isn't as good as it used to be, actually. So they actually
Oh
kind of took a
yeah,
dive.
yeah, that happens a lot.
So, yeah, like one of my favorite artists growing up was Rumiko Takahashi. She did like Inuyasha and Ranma One Half, and like a slew of other things. I think she hit her peak kind of like in the late 90s. And her style now is kind of, I just don't like it as much, because I feel like it it changed a lot.
Well, she just got old, right? She's got.
Yeah, she's super old.
That
She's like,
happens. I think
how old is
age, definitely, there is an age thing. It's just like,
Yeah, it's scary. What I don't know, whether it's a physical thing or your kind of hand-eye, mind-body connection is deteriorating, or whether you just are not that into it anymore. You don't try as hard as.
I wonder, because I know she probably has a huge team, because she currently has a series. So, but yeah, I don't know if people are. She'd be the type that people would just mimic her art because it is very simple. She does have this very pretty simple art style. But yeah, every time I see it, I'm kind of like, oh, that's weird to think I liked her art from, back in the day a lot better.
It could be the helpers that she's getting aren't
Well,
as good.
she's also like isn't she one of the richest people in Japan? Like,
I don't know the richest, but she's certainly one of the most long-standing.
I think she might be one of the wealthiest people in Japan, man or woman.
Or
And
she's
how do
65.
you get up and draw every day when you can just go to a cafe and eat croissants instead?
Yeah.
I guess yeah. I mean, she could certainly have. She's actually really good. Or even her old. She's done like a variety of things. She's done action. She's done like romance. She's done kind of everything, which is very impressive. But I don't know. I don't know why she. I guess she's still in it. I thought she'd actually stop after her last series, but it seems like all of her series basically becomes TV shows. Like she does really well, like extremely well now. So and then even her old series from the 1970s, Urusei Yatsura is now a brand new show. It was a show back in the 70s and early 80s, and they actually redid it. So they started from the beginning, and it's all like shiny and new, like really good animation. I actually didn't see it. I saw only some clips of it, but oh yeah. I had to go to the chat to see what Yojimbo, because I knew he'd have an opinion on this. So, yeah. Oh yeah, Maison and Ikoku is actually really, really good. And that was a TV show back in the day too. So but anyways, so that's
Dr. Midnight, those interviews that you watched online, I'm assuming they're in Japanese, but do they have subtitles or do they have translated? All right, well, let's get out of here. Been on for 2.5 hours. Thank you, everybody.
I had enough of you, Bernard.
Courtney, do you have any other final comments regarding WonderCon this weekend?
It was fun. It was fun for the day. I'm happy I went for the day. It was good to see everybody though, and I love meeting everybody, Mr. Joshua and Cool Hand Luke and James Treatise, and I'm forgetting to name a bunch of people, but it's great.
It was Cool Hands Luke's birthday the other day too, so let's wish him a happy birthday.
It was. He's a small child.
No, he's a man.
Oh, he's 16.
Well, you can make 16? Him a man.
Yeah, he's not 18. Hopefully he's not listening right now.
Sean, do you have anything else you want to add? We got before we head out.
I think our first issue of Genesis will drop in about mid-April. So just keep an eye out for it. I honestly don't know how you'll be able to read it because you might need a digital wallet, but we'll see.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, so you have to.
If not, I'm just gonna give it out for free.
You have to buy it.
Your word. Did you get paid for it yet?
Yeah, to do the artwork, yeah.
Okay, then it's paid for then.
Yeah.
He got paid in handshakes. Huh?
Yeah, Carl was there at WonderCon.
Yeah.
Carl and Bing.
Who else is they haven't announced anything, or who else can you announce some other people on the roster of this
I know Kreese is involved with him. Okay. He's got his own story. It's called Bladesmith.
Okay.
And I think there's like 6 other books. I'm not too familiar with them because they all work independently, but It's all very cool. Like visually, it's all very cool looking stuff. So
Okay.
Mm.
April. Few more weeks, man. It's right around the corner.
and you can see what I've been working on. And Battle of the Sketches is tomorrow with all your collect. Everyone's been doing really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna try to do one.
Yeah, a lot of crazy finished work.
What is this
I'm
week?
gonna
Is
dig up one of the old
Galactus?
barf bags. Yeah, Galactus.
Okay. Anything else?
Bernard, anything
Okay.
you'd like to say?
Thanks for coming out to Wondercon. Courtney, thanks for helping out. Everybody else that showed up. Thank you guys for jumping on stream every week. Very appreciative of everyone here. And keep drawing. Let's keep drawing. Stop complaining and keep drawing. Even though we got all our complaints out.
Oh, I just got started.
Oh,
Right. So
More bitching next week.
yeah, more,
Yeah.
even more with names.
Yeah.
Bitching
Ooh.
with names included, so you know who.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I didn't mind outing Derek Robertson and his unprofessional work because he's the one that bumped me off of Wolverine.
It's
So
it's come out now.
Ooh.
That was a secret before, but now okay. All right. You just finished off with that. Okay. Eventually, all the names will come out if you watch long enough. Right? So,
True.
I mean, his okay.
I
Let
got
me
some
cut off
drama.
before we get into more trouble.
Okay. You know what we talk about? Okay.
Okay. Next week, what's the new? There's going to be a new Battle of the Sketches next week, I think, but we'll figure it out. Jerry posted
So
it.
like the buff evil guys or something?
Is it?
I don't
It's
know. It feels
April.
like that's
Bad
how all
guys.
of them are. They're all bad guys with like very blocky heads and big
So that's the theme: blocky head bad guys.
blocky guys. That's kind of. I'm like,
It's gonna be Kang and MODOK and
yeah,
Well, we just did Kang.
yeah. They're all. It's the month of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Happy. Oh, wait. Let's raid somebody. I'm getting pretty good at this. I'm getting pretty good at remembering the raid. Okay, we can raid Casino Quest Live.
Mhm.
That's where you learn how to gamble.
Oh,
A to the J. How you doing? Who else? Saberpunk, Cody Shibley, Dr. Midnight. You got anybody we should? Jeremy Joe. Anybody have any recommendations on who we should raid? Yeah, Jimbo. Happy holidays. Cody Shibley. Let's raid Cody Shibley. Or Shibi. Cody Shibi.
Cody's chibi.
Okay. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Oh, who's Shy B? Too late now.
Cody Shibi.
Oh. It's still setting up right now?
I think it went. Oh, that's interesting. Making monsters.
All right, and I guess we're out. Oh.